Could Australia really impose a visa ban by 2025? For many, Australia represents the dream, a country of opportunity, growth, and adventure. But imagine if that dream came crashing down because of a visa restriction. In this video, we'll explore why Australia might be moving in this direction, who would be impacted the most, and what it could mean for international students, skilled workers, and families. Stay tuned to understand this critical shift in immigration policy. Hello, and welcome to HD World Plus. Today's topic dives deep into a potential visa ban that could reshape the future for anyone dreaming of moving to Australia. Over the last few years, Australia has been a top choice for skilled workers, students, and those looking to reunite with family. It's a country known for its high quality of life, scenic landscapes, and vibrant multicultural cities. However, recent conversations about immigration policy suggest that Australia may be on the brink of significant changes. In this video, we'll break down why Australia might consider a visa ban or stricter immigration policy in 2025, the reasons behind it, and the specific groups that could be affected. From population pressures to economic and political shifts, there's a lot to unpack. So let's get started with understanding the driving factors behind these potential changes. To truly understand the possibility of a visa ban, we need to examine the various pressures Australia is facing that could push it towards such a decision. This section will cover economic, political, social, and environmental factors that may influence a shift in immigration policy. 1. Population growth in major cities. Australia's urban centres, particularly Sydney and Melbourne, have seen a rapid increase in population over the past few decades. Cities like these have become highly attractive due to their economic opportunities, cultural diversity, and quality of life. However, this urban growth has led to significant challenges. Infrastructure strain. As cities expand, so does the demand for resources, transportation, and public services. Roads become congested, public transport systems reach capacity, and local infrastructure struggles to keep up. The Australian government has been investing heavily in improving infrastructure, but population growth often outpaces these improvements. Housing shortage and price increases. With high demand for housing in major urban areas, property prices have surged, making it difficult for both locals and newcomers to afford housing. This has also led to a rise in rent, putting more pressure on lower-income families and young professionals. Healthcare system overload. The demand for healthcare services has also risen with population growth. Hospitals and clinics are seeing more patients, leading to longer wait times and increased strain on healthcare professionals. In a pandemic era, these pressures have become even more visible, with resources sometimes spread thin. 2. Economic factors and shifting labor needs. Australia's economy has long relied on immigration to fill skill gaps, fuel industries, and drive growth. However, recent global events and changing economic needs have shifted the priorities. Rise in local unemployment. Some argue that prioritizing local workers for available jobs could help stabilize the economy, particularly in times of economic uncertainty. For example, in certain industries like retail and hospitality, there are increasing calls to support local employment. Labor market changes. As industries evolve and certain sectors grow while others shrink, Australia's needs for specific skills have also changed. Sectors like IT, healthcare, and engineering still require skilled labor, but others may face adjustments to keep up with shifting demands. This raises the question of whether immigration should be restricted to highly specialized skills rather than broader categories. Economic pressures from global events, the COVID-19 pandemic, ongoing supply chain disruptions, and economic recessions in various parts of the world have prompted countries like Australia to reevaluate their economic policies. With these challenges, Australia may consider policies that prioritize local employment and economic stability. 3. Political climate and national security concerns. The political landscape in Australia has also influenced the conversation about immigration. Changing immigration priorities, political discussions have increasingly focused on balancing immigration with national resources. Some policymakers argue that restricting immigration in certain areas could help Australia manage its resources more effectively. Public opinion on immigration. Public sentiment around immigration has also evolved. with some Australians voicing concerns over job competition, housing affordability, and cultural integration. These concerns may push politicians to adopt a more restrictive stance on immigration policies. National security. In addition to economic and social factors, national security concerns play a role. Australia's government is continually assessing risks and may consider immigration restrictions as part of a broader national security strategy, particularly in light of global uncertainties. 4. Environmental and sustainability challenges. Australia's unique natural environment is both a blessing and a challenge. With increased population growth, the country faces environmental pressures that could be exacerbated by immigration. Climate change and resource management. With a warming climate, Australia is experiencing more frequent and severe weather events, including bushfires and droughts. As populations grow, the demand on water resources, energy, and natural landscapes increases, challenging Australia's ability to maintain its environmental sustainability. Urban sprawl and habitat loss. Expanding cities often mean encroachment on natural habitats. Urban sprawl can lead to the loss of biodiversity, with native species being affected by the need for new housing and infrastructure. If Australia does move forward with a visa ban or strict restrictions, some groups will be impacted more than others. Let's examine the 5 primary groups that could feel these effects the most and how each might be affected by a shift in policy. 1. Skilled workers. Skilled migration has been central to Australia's economic growth, as skilled migrants fill critical roles in industries such as healthcare, IT, and engineering. However, if restrictions were applied, skilled workers could face increased difficulty obtaining visas, especially in fields where Australia has an existing talent pool. Industries likely to be impacted. Certain fields, like information technology, medicine, and engineering, could still see exemptions due to high demand. However, for occupations where Australia already has a strong local workforce, such as teaching and retail, immigration criteria might become stricter. Effect on companies. Companies that rely on international expertise may find it more challenging to recruit globally. They may need to focus more on training local talent or face potential skill gaps, especially in cutting-edge fields. Number 2. International students. International students bring economic and cultural value to Australia, as they contribute significantly to the education sector and local economies. However, immigration restrictions could change their experience and opportunities in Australia. Shifts in education. Location. One potential policy shift could involve encouraging international students to study in regional or less populated areas rather than major cities like Sydney and Melbourne, which are already densely populated. Increased competition for study visas. Tighter restrictions on student visas could make it more competitive for students to gain acceptance into Australian universities, especially in high-demand programs like engineering, medicine, and business. 3. Family reunion visas. For many immigrants, reuniting with family is a central part of their goal in moving to Australia. However, family reunion visas might be deprioritized in favor of economic migration. Impact on families. A shift in policy could mean that families are separated for longer periods, potentially causing emotional and psychological stress for those separated by borders. Alternative family reunification programs. The government might propose alternative pathways for family reunification, such as prioritizing skilled or employed family members over others, or encouraging family members to settle in specific areas. Room 4. Temporary work visa holders. Temporary work visas are often granted for short-term or seasonal work, especially in agriculture, hospitality, and tourism. These sectors rely on temporary migrants to fill roles, particularly in remote areas where local labor is scarce. Effects on key sectors. Restricting temporary work visas could create workforce shortages in industries that rely heavily on temporary labor. Regional businesses, particularly those in agriculture, could face difficulties. Push for local employment. The government might justify this move as a way to encourage local employment, even though it may impact businesses that rely on temporary workers.